I'm sorry. I'm a little distracted. There's somebody driving down the cul-de-sac, and they shouldn't be here. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Winter Lemaster. I am your host. Today we are going to be talking about crossing your T's, dotting your I's, having a paper trail. And a paper trail is unlike the Oregon Trail in that you will not get dysentery from a paper trail. Why is a paper trail important? Well, we're going to dive into that after I mention today's latte sponsor. It is FX Group. FX Group is a full-service production house, and they can service any and all of your production needs top to bottom. It doesn't matter whether it's something as huge as running an entire crew and coordinating all their movements for a feature film, or something as simple as just sourcing a location for a small catalog shoot, to even doing street castings and everything in between. FX Group, I'll have the link in the bio in the description below. I think I put it right here, what their website is, if you want to type it out, since you can't cut and paste from the YouTube page here. They've graciously bought me a couple of iced coffees today. Oh man, and I am grateful for that. Grateful? I'm grateful for that. So today, let's talk a little bit about correspondence and why having proper, clear correspondence is essential in any position you have on any job that you're going to do. It doesn't matter whether you're producing, coordinating, PAing, whether you're the photographer, whether you're the videographer, it does not matter. Having proper correspondence and a paper trail is a major step into ensuring that you as the creator, the creative, is covered and protected in the event that there is some dispute about what was requested and brought into the project. Two, whether you're a first AC, whether you're an AD, whether you're a location scout, whether you're a production, a coordinator, it doesn't matter where you are, it helps you protect your team and give them a nice stable foundation in which they now know what to expect on the day-to-day of your project. How does having a paper trail, a verification, help with the day-to-day? One of the things that you hope for when you're getting ready to start a project is that the lead up to the beginning of that project is where everything, all the puzzle pieces kind of get shaken out, spread around the table, and pieced together. And then everything from there is just like realizing, oh, well, this is a cool puzzle that we put together, right? You hope that all of the things that you've done in your pre-production process has cleared out the underbrush for any surprise twigs, bear traps, snakes, whatever. And I think 99.999% of any project manager, any project head, anybody who facilitates any project is going to let you know that that is just never going to happen. I don't care whether you're Jerry Bruckheimer's lead producer, Peter Jackson's lead producer, James Cameron's lead producer. I don't care who you are. As a lead producer, anybody who's in charge of any project knows that there is always going to be a surprise, a level of project creep, something that occurs that is absolutely unavoidable. Having good correspondence, having a clear understanding between you and the requestor of that thing, whether it's a superficial, nonsensical thing that you can't own, like a time change. We need to make sure that whoever's asking that question, that we share that request with everybody that's going to be affected by it. Whoever's asking you that, you can't just say okay. You have to explain or share or iterate to them all of the fallout from making that little change, that little time change. It's an hour. So that affects travel time. If you're in a remote location, it affects not only travel time, but travel time from base camp to location. It affects budgets because now people are going to have to get up a little earlier, and there's no indication that the wrap time is any earlier or whatever. So it affects everybody's budget. It affects the entire movement of the entire shoot. Wardrobe's got to be steamed and pressed earlier. Talent's got to be in hair and makeup earlier. everything's got to be done now earlier. And it's not just an hour earlier. Sometimes now it's 2 or 3 hours earlier for other people. Catering is now changed. Everything is changed. So you can't just take that person's word that this is cool. You have to verify. You're trusting that this person is saying things that are knowledgeable and well thought out. That's not always the case. So this person is coming to you, they're asking you something, and instead of saying yes and just going ahead and doing it and then screwing everybody over, and now everybody's mad because they didn't see this coming, whatever, your job is to facilitate that level of communication with everyone else who is going to be affected by it, the heads of every department. By doing that, when you're on set, it's a little bit difficult. You can't literally stop and bust out your laptop and be like, all right, hold on, where are we? Okay, all right, I'm emailing everybody, CC, BCC, and you can't necessarily do that. As long as you can get a verbal in that moment, as long as you can get a verbal between the 2 or 3 people, at the end of the day, before you wrap up for the night, you can then send out a follow-up email or even a group text and be like, hey, today we all agree that tomorrow is going to be blah, 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 and this was agreed and blah, 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 and these are the budget changes that are now affected and all these other aspects, and you can send that out. The reason that that is key is because at the time that you go to do the invoice, people are going to be billing you for like OT, longer equipment rental, longer location rental. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff people are going to be sending you new numbers for. And you have to be able to show why those numbers changed between the approved estimate before the job started and the new estimate, which is most likely going to be higher. So having that verification on tap helps everybody's workflow. And man, these things come up. It can be something as drastic as a full time change with less than 12 hours to go on a shoot, right? Oh, we got to do a full 3-hour time change, early call, blah, blah, blah. It can be something as minute as the wardrobe department has let a PA know that they need 1,000 more hangers. Small potatoes, and obviously any good estimate is going to have pad in the budget to accommodate those types of requests, but you can't take the wardrobe department's word that that is okay unless they're paying the actual bill. Because what's going to happen is your PA is going to have a receipt or your wardrobe department is going to have a receipt, and they're going to give you the receipt, and you're going to have to justify the 1,000 hangers to the client who is in no way, shape, or form part of that conversation. So you need to ensure that there is correspondence, that your PA is like, hey, I've just gotten a request to buy 1,000 hangers on my next run. Is that cool? And then you got to go and you got to talk to, the people up the chain and be like, hey guys, I know you're focusing on this shot. There's been a request from wardrobe for this. Is this something that we can do? And 9 times out of 10, what ends up happening is, wow, that's insane. Why didn't wardrobe know how many hangers they were going to need? Well, wardrobe never knows how many hangers they're going to need. So on the tail end, when all of those things come together, if there's any question, you can show them, hey, here's the day, here's who requested it, you guys said this was okay. There was no dispute or disruption. Instead of something occurring and you or somebody just willy-nilly saying, sure, that sounds good to me, and like a rogue wave coming across the bow of a ship, it disrupts and throws everything off course. Everybody's discombobulated. Everybody's now lost their footing. They've lost their rhythm. And now they're wondering, well, what other kind of surprises are we going to have? They're looking at the people who are supposed to be leading the crew. Here we are. We're just one little family army and we're just getting through the day. They have lost a little bit of trust that the process is going to be smooth. When you're thrown into something as intense as a commercial shoot, if you have those things that occur and you don't follow through, verify, double check, have a paper trail that all the changes that are going to occur are approved and okay, you're going to have a bad day at the end of the day. You're going to lose money. Your project is going to be chaotic. You're going to have people who are dissatisfied, disgruntled, and just kind of like grumpy and not fun to be around. And it's going to make you look awful. And that is why having correspondence, good, clear communication, a paper trail, emails, verification with all the head honchos that everything is agreed upon and copacetic and can move forward is good for your bottom line. It helps protect and save the client from chaos, and it helps and protects everybody on set so that everybody can flow with the stream as the project progresses, and everybody can get their checks at the end of the day, and everybody's happy. And even though it was a crazy, chaotic, hectic, sweaty production, everybody feels good about it at the end of the day, and they can't wait for the next one. Let's thank FX Group for sponsoring my iced coffee today. Perfect. Let's also thank Nate from Spirit Adrift for letting me use his song for the intro and for the outro. I will put a link to a long version of that prop car paper trail story in another section on this YouTube page. I think I might just call it Story Time. See you next time on Winter